Once upon a time, there was a fisherman, and he was hella good at catching fish. He was the best fisherman, and people wanted to be on his team. Like he would bring, you could call them disciples, out onto the ocean with him, and they'd all go out there fishing, and he'd lead the group, and he was like the best fisherman. He was the best. Nobody competed with him, bro. Honestly, he was the best. Okay. People looked up to him like crazy. And he would go out there on these adventures, finding fish that nobody else could find, but that provided like crazy meats. And then he would also go out on normal fishing runs just for like tuna or bass or catfish and just bring back ample amounts. Okay? But regardless of that, he was the best fisher around. Okay, I put that on everything. And so this dude, he he would lead these expeditions, and everybody wanted to be on the team because they knew they'd come back with ample fish and ample profits. So everybody wanted to be on the team, and they knew they would learn. They knew they'd come back with ample knowledge, wisdom. And chapter 2. So there was a boy. He was raised by only his mother. He had no father, and he always dreamed of being like the knights of the Old English. Mind you, this story takes place in England around sailor times, so maybe the 1800s. He always dreamed of being like a knight like his forefathers, and he just wanted to be more than what he had, which was just his mother and their bakery. He was a baker. He just worked in the bakery shop. He carried the big loads for his mom, did things like that natured. And so one day he hears that the fisherman is going out on a fish expedition, and this one is going to be a deep one for exotic fish. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes he goes after ample amounts of tuna, bass, regular fish, but this one was going to be an exotic fish that nobody catches. The boy heard about this, and he wanted to go. He wanted to see what life could be like. He wanted to be that knight that traversed the world just to show off to a girl chivalrously. You see, there was a girl in the village that he really liked, and she liked all the other guys because they were cooler, but our dude knew if he could just do something just to show her that he was really the knight in shining armor that she needed. And so he thought to himself, this boating expedition could be exactly what I need to show her that I'm truly the knight that she needs. Chapter 3. So our boy, he runs down. He sees that the expedition is leaving. He sees that he was too late to apply. And he runs up to the greatest fisherman and he says, "Take me with you, please." And he says, "Okay, yeah, sure, come on." And it was just that easy. And so they set off. It's a journey of the big fisherman, the fisher boy, and 4 accomplices from the village who the fishermen had chosen to come with them. And along their journey to the spot where the big fisherman had chosen, there were fights, arguments, but there was also brotherhood. True sailor brotherhood. So much bonding. I mean, you think about it, they're alone. They're really alone out here. There's no friends, no people, no grocery store, no deli. It was just them on that boat. No women. And so as time went on, they felt that loneliness to a very high degree being out there on those waters. So did the fisher boy. He would sit there on the boat in his corner, since he didn't have to do much of the hard labor since he was a youngster. And he would either read or he would think about her, the girl from his village. He would imagine getting home, her seeing how excellent his voyage had been, and thinking he really was that night. And so they were tugging along, going to the spot where the big fishermen had said they would catch an exotic fish. But the crew was starting to get pretty depressed. Some of them actually said, maybe we should turn back. Big fisherman said, no. And Fisher Boy went right along with him. Yeah, he's right, we gotta keep going. So they kept on going. I mean, you think about it, Fisher Boy might have been a boy, but he made up for 6 of the crew, so it was a pity mattered. So they kept on going, and eventually there came a time where all of the men were resting, and the big fisherman was taking a shift on his lonesome, just making sure they stayed on course. And a mist grew over the ocean, and the waters calmed to a standstill, to where the waters for all around that you could see, which wasn't very much because of the mist, were still. All you saw for all around the boat was silver water, gray water, still, and a white fog mist. And the fisherman was the only one up. He was taking them. And suddenly, he started to hear a song. It was the most beautiful woman's voice, most beautiful song he had ever heard. One woman's voice singing. Then he heard multiple. They were singing the most beautiful song he had ever heard in his life, even back on land. A couple of the men started to wake up, and the voices got louder as the big fisherman drew closer to these voices, these singing songs. And they came to now all of the men were up, and they were wondering what was going on. They wanted to hear these voices because they had been so lonely. They had been so lonely out on these waters. So they drew closer to the voices until they saw a rocky cliff face. And down on the shore were women with regular legs. These weren't mermaids or sirens or anything. And they were singing the most beautiful song. The men pulled up to the shore and got out. The end of book 1.